I was like, any volunteers first? No? Me? Yeah?
You
I'll
first.
go first.
Go ahead.
Okay. Were you guys actually ever scared while filming? Because if I watch this movie, I literally...
Scared like the way people think, I don't think so. But definitely like a feeling of weird sense, like a weird vibe. Because a lot of places we went to, like in the film, we go to a botanica, and it's actually like a real botanica, and the curandero is actually like the real guy. So it's definitely like a lot of weird vibes because we go into a room. There's this really weird room that we go into.
Yes.
Like,
Did you actually see it in one of the trailers?
It's actually boom. There it is.
Oh, there it is. That one. That room has an energy to it. It's so crazy,
Oh,
and it's creepy, and you don't want to. So there was space. Each space we shot in had its own energy. You know what I mean? Like the basement of our building, the old apartment building in LA, and it was actually super run down, and it had crazy history to it when they remodeled it and they aged it for the movie. But the basement, I doubt anyone's gone down there in like a really long time, you know what I mean? And so there we are, like with our little cameras, like, ah! So in that sense, you could feel like a presence or a certain energy in certain spaces, definitely.
so it was like creepy out
Yeah,
a little bit.
yeah, absolutely.
Alright, cool.
Were either of you ever fans before you filmed this movie?
I saw the first one, not when it first came out, like a while after, and it was definitely scary. I thought it was real. I thought it was same
You and everyone else.
Yeah, exactly.
You and everyone else.
So I thought it was a real actual thing, and then I ended up seeing the fourth one when it came out in theaters.
We actually saw it together
with Gabriel Walsh and Jorge Diaz. We saw it together after we met like Christopher Landon, got our scripts.
It happened to be in theaters when we got cast, so
Yeah.
we just walked over. We had a luncheon, and then we walked over to the ArcLight in Hollywood, and we ended up watching it.
And then I caught up with the rest of them as the time went on.
I'd seen all of them but one in theaters, so I saw the second on DVD. And you have to say, like, it's an experience seeing it with the super packed theater, full of. Yeah, it's awesome, and it's really cool.
Guys, when you guys were shooting the film, was there for this kind of format, found footage format, it takes a technique to try to capture the action. With you guys holding the cameras, was there any way that Christopher told you, like, give you tips on how to hold the camera, capture the action, and how to?
Oh, for sure. A lot of
the director of photography, Gonzalo, he's actually, him and Chris, most of the time they'll go to Jorge and be like, this is the shot I need, but of course he's handling it because it needs to bring the energy behind the camera, because if Gonzalo is handling it and say it's supposed to be a really scary part, and Jorge is going like, oh,
you would have to synchronize like the drum, the camera, and my vocals pretty much. And so, but all the stunts were done by Gonzalo, the DP, but all the other stuff, like, I'm holding it. I'm actually doing it. And it's a skill you kind of have to develop, right? Because you have to remind yourself that, this has the probability that millions of people could watch this little screen I'm looking at in real life, and I'm also have to stay in the scene, in the moment as an actor, and then hit certain lines that we have to say to keep the story that are written, and then but also stay in the moment to organically to be able to improvise as well. Because he gave us that space.
Did that allow you to organically do a couple improvisation bits in the movie?
Yeah, I feel like once Chris got to know our own personalities, you know what I mean? It gave him more ideas. The script kept on evolving and to have more fun with it. And we were down to do whatever. And I feel it showed on screen because we just ended up having a lot of fun, really, especially in the first half of the movie. Like we just,
that last half of the downer.
That was fun too. But that was crazy. Yeah.
Is it intimidating working with someone like Chris who has an end game already in his mind for this franchise?
Me, I was intimidated by everybody. This is my first thing ever, really. I've never really, Jorge's done other films, he's done commercials and this and that. It's actually like my first thing. So me working with everybody who had experiences was intimidating. Working with Christopher Landon was an honor, because he was just a really nice guy, and he's great at what he does, and he wasn't
he was super real.
Yeah, he's not an asshole.
He made me feel so comfortable from the very beginning. He talked to us as a friend that we've had for a long time. He's just like, all right, this is da-da-da, don't even worry about this. He's like,
he took us throughout the whole process, very step by step, and showing us the way. So
a deep trust was built between the actors and him, and really everyone on the crew, because everyone was super sweet.
How did you guys become attached to this project in the first place?
We auditioned for it.
Yeah.
We both got
auditioned
called in.
called in.
No
We had no
idea.
idea it was Paranormal Activity
Until
until like we officially like
yeah.
got closer to booking it.
Right.
But so it was just a waiting process.
And yeah, it was a mix and matching between actors. We coincidentally, the first mix and match,
it was us together.
We went in, and apparently I just read in an interview, Chris was saying that
the moment he saw us, he looked at the casting director and said, "We're done." Like that was it.
Yeah.
So it was.
And then they mixed and matched a bunch of. It was a whole like couple-week process, but at the end of the day, like we ended up getting put together.
In the movie, working with Gabrielle too, the third link in this trio, it comes naturalistically. You guys look like you guys have been best friends forever. Was there any point, did you guys do anything outside of filming the movie to establish chemistry, rehearsals?
The three of us, we actually, not necessarily rehearsals, but just building that friendship. We all got together, and we all hang out still to this day.
We would go to
lunch,
we
hang out, go watch movies, go do whatever the case may be. And still to this day, like we're just all good friends, so that chemistry showed really well on camera.
What was your favorite thing to do in between like filming on set, like jokes or anything like that?
There's a lot of jokes that didn't make the cut that kind of that we had fun with. But I would say you and your stunts. I would have had fun watching this guy. And
I did like there's a lot of stunts that are like not in the film anymore, but I did like a ton of stuff and it was fun.
Like hanging from a crane at one.
Like this huge crane that's blocked the whole
for the skateboard scene. There's
dropping like 20 feet really fast.
They put me in a harness even. Also
to go down the stairs.
The
harness was actually to get lifted. That's actually in the film.
And then the stunt of going down the stairs, they actually kind of let me go the last one. It was on a skateboard, but they had to go fast because the skateboard kept on getting, it had no wheels on it, and they kept on getting stuck on the steps. And so we got to go a little faster so it won't get stuck. And so the final, like one of the last takes, that's what they ended up using. They're like, okay, boom, the stuntman kind of like, so what you see is probably pretty close to natural reaction.
So you had a lot of stunts, like you just said. Were those more difficult to film as far as like between that and the scarier stuff, which you're just like sitting and not really doing anything physical? What was the hardest part, stunts or like the scary stuff?
I think they were fairly the same. Doing the stunts, it was exciting and I get to do these fun things, but it's not necessarily like I was just having a good time throughout the whole thing, and then being in that serious mode. For the scarier parts, I think in real life, that's sort of how I am, more to myself, and I'll sit down and smile a little bit, and so I mean, I think it's the same. It's not. I don't think there's one that beats the other.
I would say for me, it was like the scary stuff. I think it was more. There was more of a pressure to have it done really well and really realistic, because I'm like a big critic when it comes to like. But if I don't believe it myself, how do I expect an audience to believe it? So, and there's some crazy stuff that happens in the movie that's very, like, people would say it's not common, obviously, right? And so we would have to really, I made sure that I at least believed it myself, that I was like freaked the hell out, so
If any of the events happen to you in real life, what would you guys do?
Run from your life.
Yeah. Actually, to tell you the truth, I think
if it was happening to us personally, or if we saw it happening.
Personally.
I think I wouldn't know what to do, and I
exactly. I definitely would.
I think that Hector in the movie actually doesn't know what to do, and he literally says that. He's like, we have no idea what the F we're doing, you know what I mean? Like,
no, but what would you do if you were in my position?
I would try to help you, but I think...
No, if you were getting possessed.
Oh, if I was getting possessed? Oh my god. Well, shit, I don't know. Like, I mean, what happens? Like, it's almost like fighting the flu. It's like you have to, it just happens, right? You try, I don't even know.
I'm not sure there's medication for that.
Yeah, I don't think there's medication for that, so do you just not know it's happening? I wonder, I've never been possessed, so I don't, I think
they try. I mean, they try for medication, but...
You might not have control over it. It might just happen. Maybe, it might be a lot more stressful for the people around you. You might, inside, might just be having a great time. I was kidding.
Well, you guys have one more question.
Okay.
Sorry.
Alright. What did you guys, when you read the script and the last act of the movie takes a sudden detour, without divulging, And what was your reaction when that twist was revealed to you guys?
It came out of left field for me. Like, I was like, what? I was like, what?
It was added on, like,
yeah,
a lot after. It was
the script kept on evolving.
Yeah.
And
which was, I think it was a
I wasn't sure
great
how
thing.
it was going to go over, because to tell you the truth, I was like, this has to be done really well for the audience suddenly not to be taken out of it and completely feel like it's unrealistic. Like, what? But I feel, especially for the fans, it's such an awesome surprise that they're like, oh my god! And suddenly that opens the door for all these new possibilities for what may come, because there's so much to explore in like the paranormal world, and especially in Latin cultures with all the mysticism and superstition and stories of brujeria, santeria. There's so much to explore that hasn't been really done in a lot of films, and I feel it just opened the door for all types of possibilities.
Did it open the door for you guys to come back? I'm sorry.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Everybody go watch it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you
you
guys so much.
Thank you guys. It was fun.